Coming to you from Rockingham, IPL Radio.
You're listening to My Generation on IPL Radio, coming to you from Rockingham in Western Australia, and it's my very great pleasure to introduce Penny Webb from People Who Care.
Fabulous to be here.
How are you, Penny?
I'm very good, thank you, on this blustery, crazy day. I tell you what, the weather out there is insane.
It's better being inside than out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Now, People Who Care, I have to confess that before, until quite recently, I had no idea that People Who Care existed.
Well, People Who Care is a fabulous organisation. It's been around for over 40 years now.
Yes, so I see.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
40 years of long service to people, yeah.
Yeah. So why haven't I heard about it?
Well, the answer is maybe because you didn't need the services yet, Alan. We don't need it yet, Alan, and I'm talking to me as well there, yeah.
So what does People Who Care do? Who do they care for?
We care for people in their home. That's really important for us. So it's about supporting people to remain independent, living well, full lives as long as possible in their home, and hopefully till the end. So those who are aged and those who have a disability. We do have a social justice arm that supports people to set up their home following family and partner violence, but mainly our services are for those who are older
the aged
with a disability.
And disabled.
Yeah.
Yep. So how do people get in touch with you? Obviously, I didn't know about you, but other people must.
Yes, absolutely. Well, we're from basically the city of Mandurah to the city of Joondalup and everything in between. So we've been around for a long time and we have that breadth geographically. And how do they get a hold of us? Well, usually people hear about us through word of mouth, or they might hear through a government agency, or they might see one of our cars or one of our buses that's got some branding on it, but they'll phone 9379 1944 or through the website peoplewhocare.org.au. But it's mainly word of mouth, actually.
Fantastic. And do you actually have any physical offices that people can attend to?
We've got 5 hubs.
Right.
They're not all open to the public, but 2 of them are. So the one in Mandurah and the one in Guildford. So we've got centres there. But, so centres that where some of the clients come together and have activities and food and,
Yep. Now, the people who work at People Who Care... are they volunteers or are they permanent workers? Or
we've got both.
Right.
So the organisation started with volunteers. That's how it started. There was a group of gentlemen who wanted to support older people to remain independent in their homes up in the hills, so like the Kalamunda way. So they started offering a service to do some gardening and home maintenance, and that's how it started. So it started with volunteers. Volunteers is our roots. It's a really big, strong part of who we are. And today we would have, I think as at the end of last month, we have 353 active volunteers and we have 190 employees. Right.
And when a person comes to you for assistance, do you sort of appoint a person or a group of people to them?
So we're part of so let's say they're an older person, so they would have received a referral from My Aged Care. And that's how we would usually hear about them, that we'd get a referral that way, or the client might call and say, listen, I'm eligible for My Aged Care support, can you help me? And then, they'd be dedicated someone to actually kind of like listen to their story, find out a little bit about themselves, who's important to them, what their needs are, what they've been referred for, and then we would actually put some services together to support them.
Right. And is there a fee for service, or how does this work?
Minimal fee, Right. So the government, mainly it's subsidised by the government. So someone who's getting home and garden maintenance, maybe for an hour's support, they might pay $8.
Right.
Yeah.
And the government sort of
subsidises the rest,
Okay. So is a lot of your care home maintenance and that type of...
So the main services are home maintenance, domestic assistance, personal care, transport services are huge for us, transporting people, and that's a lot of where our volunteers sit is in transport, so we're always after volunteers. Transport, social support group, we do a lot of group activities, picking people up from their home, taking them to the community, have a good time for a meal, for an activity, and then drop them home.
Okay, so it's quite a bit of transportation going on.
A lot of transportation.
And how does this get covered by insurance?
What do you mean insurance? What does that mean?
The person who's driving, if say they had an accident.
Yes. We've got full insurance.
Right.
Yeah, so people who care vehicle.
Yeah. So it's not their own vehicle?
Yeah, no.
So you must have a lot of vehicles.
We do.
Wow.
We do. Something like 78, I think, last count.
My goodness.
Yeah, 78 vehicles.
And are these sponsored by a particular car company? Or
No. So it's basically we provide it from government subsidised services. So we actually purchase these vehicles or lease these vehicles, and they're fully maintained and beautiful and safe, and usually very brand spanking new, most of them. Yeah.
Because I know Bev Jones at Sunshine Radio.
Right.
He has a vehicle supplied by a motor company. Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Maybe I should talk to him. No, these are not free. We've had some beautiful donors who over the years have bought one of our big commuter buses, and that's been a donation which is just phenomenally generous. So, yeah.
Okay, so a person comes to you, they want some gardening done.
Yes.
Is that sort of an hour a week, or how long does it go on?
Usually gardening's probably about once a month, just like every person would want.
Right.
Generally, can you come and cut my lawn? And it's about keeping them safe and independent in their home. So things, it's not about, planting the latest petunias. No. It's actually about making sure pathways are clear. They can get to their washing line. The grass is cut, and, there's no overhanging branches and things like
so
that.
This is an ongoing service.
Totally ongoing. Yeah, it's not one-off at all. So when someone is eligible for this, whether it's domestic assistance or cleaning or personal care, it's ongoing. So it's a regular service.
Right. And at the beginning you did mention domestic violence.
I did, yeah.
Do you have professionals in that area? Or?
Yeah, so we don't provide the clinical support for that. So we're kind of almost at the end of the chain. So when someone might have had the challenge of being in a family or partner violence situation, they might have gone to a refuge for a while. Maybe it's a mother with 3 children, and at some point they're going to get a new home. When they get their new home, we would get a referral from one of the refuges, for instance, and they'd say, I've got a mum, she's just got a new home, she's got 3 children, these are the ages, can you help us finish the home? And we would provide everything from fridges, washers, beds, mattresses, from the front door to the back door, toys for the kids, and all these goods are donated by the public. We have a massive warehouse in Malaga, so they're all donated, they're cleaned, they're sorted, and they're ready for when we get those phone calls. Yeah. Right.
So if someone wants to volunteer for people who care,
we love our volunteers. We love them. Yes. So what do? They can call up, and we might say, listen, what are you great at? What can you do? What time can you give? What's going to work for you in your area? We try and keep it as local as possible. So someone might say, hey, listen, I'm still a good driver. Great, And we will train them, put them through a nice little neat, induction to an onboarding, make sure they feel competent to do their role. And, that's how we do it. So whether it's transport, whether it's participating in the social support groups, it's like somebody who's coming alongside a group of 10 or 12 older people going out for the day. It could be that they're helping out with gardening. Some like doing that, so that we'll have volunteers that accompany employees doing that. But, there's lots of opportunities. We've got older people living in residential aged care where we do a friendship volunteering opportunity. So,
so they become a visitor, sort of a supporter.
They become a visitor.
And
visitor friend.
Perhaps a read to them or...
read whatever they'd like to do, play chess with them. Or,
fantastic.
And that could be in residential or it could be in their home.
Yep.
Yeah.
So when a volunteer is appointed to a particular task for a particular person, that same person does the job with that client each time? Or
it depends on the program. So if you were going to volunteer as a driver, you would come into, this is just an example, you would come in to to see the coordinator of that area, and you come into one of our hubs and you'd say, "Hi, Sruthi. Hey, good to see you," and lots of looking out for one another, and then say, "Okay, here, this is who you're picking up today," and they'd get like a schedule, like who they're picking up, where they're picking them up from, where they're dropping them to, whether it's a medical appointment, whether it's to take them shopping or whatever, yeah.
But if it was a gardener doing gardening work, they do the same person.
Very likely they do, because they kind of stay with the local area and usually with the same employee, and they kind of have a gardening unlike transport, gardening's quite a regular thing, so you'd be going to the same people usually quite regularly.
Well, rather large organisation that you're head of.
It's a privilege. It's a real privilege.
So quite a bit of office work and that sort of thing
we've
required.
got some amazing staff that usually work out of the offices looking after and supporting the employees and volunteers, corporate staff, finance teams, human resource,
So is that a volunteer base again? Or
we do have volunteers supporting, but most of those are paid employees, in the corporate finance teams and HR and, Well, it's an amazing job. And the thing is, as people get older, which I'm doing myself. Hey, Alan, we're all getting there. We're all getting there. It's all good.
Yeah, if you discover there's things you can't do so well anymore.
Can't quite jump as high, can we?
No, that's right.
But that's okay. Yeah. But still, we've got choice. We've got rights. We've got a life to live. So...
Well, we better get this organisation out there in the public domain so people know about it.
It's a beautiful organisation. People who care. I mean, what a great name.
So in any one given week, how many sort of new clients would you be sort of building on?
Oh, golly. Well, I think right now we've got around about 3,500 clients. And each month I sign letters of welcome. Each month I sign letters of farewell. Sometimes people have passed. Sometimes people have needed a different kind of care, and that's okay. But we just kind of sit around that. It's growing a bit at the moment, and we have to monitor that. But it's it's great.
But it should be more widely known.
Oh, thank you. Well, Alan, over to you. No pressure.
We'll plug it on IPL Radio on a regular basis.
Yeah, if you ever want me to come back and say some more, very happy to.
Yeah. Well, it's great to have you in, Penny.
Thank you. It's
good
nice
to see you. It's been a long time.
It's actually been a while. Pre-COVID, I think.
Oh, well and truly pre-COVID. Yeah. Today we're playing songs from 1963. It was a bit before your time.
No, that was the year I was born.
You are joking.
I am not. 1963.
Wow.
That is my year. Yeah, absolutely. So what were you playing?
Well, everything from 1963.
There we go. Well, it was all for me. And my birthday is only a few weeks away. So thank you for doing that for me.
That's no worries.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have been so bold as to suggest you were... coming up to 60.
Oh.
Actually, Judy and I were just sort of trying to guess, and I said, no, probably about 1965. You're not quite that old.
Yeah, no, but it's okay. It's just a number.
I'll tell you what, it's done very well for you.
Thanks. I've got I've got a little bit of my mum's genes in there, and I try to look after myself, Alan, as we all do.
Yep. Actually, I did pick out a song for you.
Oh.
Might stir a memory.
Okay.
It's a song I associate with you.
Oh, gosh.
So